Hey team, I want to talk to you a moment about what I think is probably the most important and impactful part of the Schoology system. It's the one tool that makes this all really worth it, and that is the Learning Objective or Mastery Standard Tracking feature. Now that's a complicated way of saying that you can track a student's progress on every standard in your whole list by assignment and question as you give them. I'm going to show you what that looks like in an assessment, first of all, using the new system. This, by the way, is something you can always go back and add after you've given an assessment even. You can still do that. But do get in the habit of doing this for every assessment that you make, every question, and every assignment as you build them, and it does pay dividends in the information that you're getting out of the system. So I'm going to go into this multiple choice question I created earlier. And at the very bottom of that question, and this looks the same for all question types, you have this learning objective feature. And you can see I've already added in a couple. I found this a fairly up-to-date system. You can go through and browse Common Core, state standards, etc. And if you know your standards abbreviation, for example, SS8G, I know that that's my Georgia Studies Geography Standards. And I can go through and select multiple or one. It doesn't matter. You can select as many or as few as you like. And then confirm. And that adds those standards to that question. Now that's you typically wouldn't have more than one per question to really get the good data out of it. But say it is a lengthy, maybe fill in the blank question, you might have multiple standards in that. So I'm going to click Save. And now every student that takes this assessment, that particular standard will be tracked. Now where that data goes, if you go back to your main page, where I'm backing up to, and Mastery, this with the bullseyes. This is a very cool feature of Schoology, and it shows, here's the standards that I tagged. It shows student progress for that standard across all assignments you've tagged it in. That means a participation grade here, a formative quiz here, maybe a couple days later another check-in quiz, and then that mastery grade. It tracks it all, and it will show you your students' gray areas where you need to really work and focus, especially getting time at the end of the year for those refreshers. You can view it by student achievement or by learning objective. And see, there's the standard. It'll graph it all out for me. Now nobody's taken any of this quiz yet, so it doesn't show me anything yet. And you can also customize the way your standards look in the mastery settings here. Now this is an important step that you definitely need to take. I would set my meet expectations to a 70 minimum. I would set my exceeds to a 95 minimum. Now, that's my personal preference, and depending on your subject, you might predetermine a standard of this measure for your subject area across the grade level. It's something you need to talk about as a department. And then for mastery, meet or exceeds expectation. This means that how many different standard assignments or questions are going to be tagged at an exceeds to get a mastery of that. That's what you're going for, right? Mastery of a standard. I would set it if you know that you consistently give 2 or 3 assignments and questions throughout a standards life cycle, then I would set it for no more or no less than 2. Because if you set it for just 1 and a standard shows up on a participation grade and a student makes a 100, then it kind of voids the reliability of that data. So you want it at least 2 or 3. In my own teaching, I knew that I would hit a standard in an assignment or 2, and then multiple different assessments along the way. So I would do 2 or 3, and that'll look like this within their gradebook. They'll see that star if they get the exceeds, and they'll see on their end if they master and if they meet for that assignment. And that's powerful data too, because the student is actually looking at it in real time as you are and reacting to that data. The grade overall learning objectives by, I would say, average, not highest score. And then the mastery scale should always be WCPS. Save those changes. And again, I don't have anything to look at here because you haven't answered questions yet. But do play with this, and you're going to be amazed. Because if we're talking about common formative assessments and reactionary teaching and using data to inform our teaching, this is it, guys. This is the way to really use this system to collect that efficient data and make changes to your curriculum to best suit those students' needs individually. So give it a try, dig into it. More will come later on. I don't want to overwhelm you with this, but let me know what you think.